The video game industry has undergone significant transformation since its inception. During this time, several games have been created that have strengthened the foundation of the industry. These games filled the pocket of the creators and raised the player's expectation for future release. Now, let's examine a list of 10 games that achieved it. First of all, the list is not based on my personal opinion. All the games on the list are impactful and unique. The order of the list is based on fundamental influence, not sales or popularity. Let's start it. Number 10, Resident Evil 4. This game had many strengths, such as interactive gameplay, graphics, and the creation of tension. However, the main aspect that made the game so special and inspired other developers to use it later was the fixed third-person camera perspective over the shoulder. This design enhanced the sense of immersion. This change not only affected the gameplay but also encouraged other developers to use it later and make the similar systems. It has proven to be a flawless feature that contributed to the evolution of action and horror games, influencing those that followed. Number 9, Pac-Man, released in 1980, was introduced as a charming and lovable character, captivating players of that time with its design and colors. This aspect led the game to become one of the cultural symbols of that era. The gameplay of this game, unlike other games of its time, was designed around collecting and evading enemies, rather than military battles or competitions. This shift in gameplay contributed to diversity in video games. It was easy to understand and even attract non-gamer audience. This aspect boosted sales in the market. The game also led the production of related merchandise such as t-shirts and the television animations. These factors collectively made the game to one of the most important in history and left a profound impact on the video game industry. Number 8, GTA 3. We reached the first game that introduced a modern open world into a video game. This game set a new standard in video game design by offering an open world, allowing players more choices in advancing their story and interacting with environment. The game was told in a non-linear way, allowing players to experience their story as they like. This approach added depth to narrative and character development. The graphics also underwent significant changes. The game used new graphical technologies at that time, which helped to create more realistic environments. Another notable aspect was the mature content included in the game. It featured violence, inappropriate language, and adult themes, attracting considerable attention and sparking discussions about the content of the video game and their impact on society. What bullshit. Number 7, Mortal Kombat, released in 1992, owed much of its success to its use of real digitized images of actors, which set it apart from other games of its era and offered a unique experience. Beyond that, it could be considered the first game to place significant emphasis on violence and adult-oriented content. This sparked widespread debates about the impact of violence on players. Honestly, when I was a kid, I thought this game was considered a horror title due to its violence and dark theme. The combat system was one of the creative innovations introduced by developers. It included special moves and features called fatalities, which brought new levels of excitement and innovation to the gameplay. These elements heightened the thrill and the enjoyment for players competing against each other. Number 6, Wolfenstein 3D, released in 1992 by ID Software, is recognized as one of the pioneering titles in the first-person shooter genre. It played a crucial role in transforming the video game industry, introducing several innovations that continue to influence gaming today. Although first-person perspective games existed before Wolfenstein 3D, this game was the first to deliver a fluid and immersive shooting experience. Its simple controls, fast-paced gameplay, and non-stop action set a new standard for the genre. Unlike earlier games that focused more on puzzles and exploration, Wolfenstein 3D emphasized fast, thrilling action. Its layered enemies and dynamic environment made the gameplay more engaging and enjoyable. The game used a specific graphical engine that allowed for 3D environments. This technology was simple yet effective, providing a groundbreaking visual experience for players. The game's level design was based on maze-like structure, encouraging players to explore the environment. Additionally, the enemies featured simple AI, which was innovative for its time. The success of Wolfenstein 3D led ID Software to create other iconic titles, like Doom and Quake, both of which further advanced the FPS genre and 3D graphics. Many elements introduced in the game became a standard feature in future FPS titles. Games World War II setting and narrative, where players assumed the role of a hero, fighting against Nazis, introduced a new approach to storytelling in video games. This made players feel more engaged with the story and characters. Wolfenstein 3D not only defined the FPS genre, but also demonstrated that video games could deliver entertaining and immersive experience. It paved the way for technological and creative advancements in the industry and remained one of the most influential games in the gaming history. Before we get to the next game, don't forget to subscribe, and if you are enjoying the video, you can leave a like for me. Number 5. The Pong game, released by Atari in 1972, was one of the first commercially successful video games and played a crucial role in transforming and shaping the video game industry. This simple game, involving two players and digital ball in a tennis-like match, had a profound impact. Pong was one of the first games to achieve massive commercial success. This success drew the attention of other companies to the financial and commercial potential of the video games, encouraging more investments in the industry. Pong introduced arcade machines to public spaces like restaurants and cafes, creating a new culture of social interaction. As the first successful arcade game, it set the standard for future arcade machines. Pong's simplicity in gameplay inspired the design of games that were easy for the general public to understand and enjoy. It demonstrated that simple mechanics could attract a wide audience, without requiring complexity for success. The technology developed to run Pong led to advancements in hardware that were later used in other games. Pong was precursor to the development of a home console and video game hardware. Pong's success solidified video games as a new and popular form of entertainment. It helped people to understand that video games could be a social and cultural activity. Due to its success, Pong inspired many video game designers and paved the way for more innovative games like Space Invaders and Pac-Man. Overall, Pong was not only a groundbreaking step in the history of video games, but also demonstrated the immense growth potential of the industry. It acted as a catalyst, expanding the boundaries of creativity and innovation in the digital world. Number 4. Minecraft. Minecraft is one of the most significant titles that transformed the video game industry. This transformation is evident in several aspects. Minecraft was the first game to give players complete freedom for creativity. Players could build their own worlds, explore, and set their own rules. This level of freedom and flexibility not only made the gaming experience highly personal, but also allowed players to actively create their own story. Minecraft brought the sandbox genre to the global popularity. This genre, which focuses on exploration and creation, inspired many other games such as Terraria, Roblox, and No Man's Sky. After Minecraft's success, one of the Minecraft's keys to success was its community-driven nature. The game allowed for modding and customized servers, enabling players to tailor the game to their preference. This feature ensured the game remains fresh and continued to grow. Beyond being an entertaining game, Minecraft became an educational tool. Special editions like Minecraft Educational Edition were designed to teach concepts like math, science, history, and even programming. Minecraft is not just an entertaining game. It showed developers, players, and even other industries that video games can go beyond entertaining to become tools for creativity and innovation. Number 3. Final Fantasy VII. This game is a significant milestone in the gaming industry. Released in 1997 for PlayStation, it profoundly impacted not only the Final Fantasy series, but also the entire gaming world. Final Fantasy VII was one of the first games to use 3D graphics combined with pre-rendered backgrounds. Additionally, its cinematic cutscenes were groundbreaking at the time, delivering a visually and emotionally captivating experience. This game set new standards for graphics in RPGs or other genres. Before Final Fantasy VII, Japanese role-playing games were primarily popular in Asian markets. This game was the first in the series to be widely distributed in the West, selling over 13 million copies and bringing the RPG genre to global prominence. Square Enix allocated a massive budget for the game's global advertising campaign. This marketing strategy, spanning TV commercials to magazines, showcased how a game could be cultural. The active time battle combat system, combined with cinematic storytelling and RPG mechanics, became a model for many RPGs that followed. Numerous games drew inspiration from this formula, setting it as a standard. Final Fantasy VII not only set new benchmarks in graphics, storytelling, and game design, but also played a significant role in globalizing Japanese games and establishing video games as an artistic medium. Its influence remains evident in modern games, and its recent remake is testament to enduring popularity and legacy. Number 2. Super Mario 64. This game is one of the most influential games in the history of video games. Before the release of this game, designing successful 3D games was challenging due to technical limitation and control issues. However, Super Mario 64 introduced an open 3D world and freedom of movement, setting a new standard for 3D gaming. Mario's controllers, using the analog stick on Nintendo 64 controller, gave players unprecedented freedom in movement and interaction with environment. This game was one of the first to allow players to control the camera and adjust their viewing angle. This feature has since become a standard in 3D games. Unlike earlier platformers that guided players through a linear path, Super Mario 64 encourages exploration in open levels, collecting stars, and finding different ways to solve challenges. This design heavily influenced games like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and GTA 3. The game used the hardware power of Nintendo 64 to deliver smooth and captivating 3D graphics. Additionally, its memorable soundtrack created an unforgettable experience for players. Super Mario 64 redefined the boundaries of technology and creativity by introducing groundbreaking 3D design, precise controls, and open levels. It demonstrated that video games could offer a deeper and more imaginative experience. And number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, released in 1998, is one of the most important games in the history and groundbreaking title in the video game industry. Here's how it made a significant impact. Ocarina of Time was the first game to introduce the Z-targeting system. This mechanic allowed players to lock onto enemies or specific objects in a 2D environment with the press of a button. This feature became a standard in action-adventure games, influencing titles like Devil May Cry and Dark Souls. The game offered a vast and dynamic world filled with diverse regions, puzzles, and NPCs, creating a sense of living environment. The day and the night cycle and its effect on the world added a sense of realism and immersion. The ability to switch between Link's childhood and adulthood added depth to the story and gameplay mechanics. Ocarina of Time elevated the art of storytelling in games with its use of 3D cutscenes and deeply engaging narrative. Characters like Link, Zelda, and Navi added emotional depth to the story. Link's heroic journey, time shift, and the battle between good and evil left a lasting impact on adventure and RPG storytelling. The game quickly became one of the best-selling and most critically acclaimed titles in the gaming history. Its influence was so profound that many modern games continue to draw inspiration from its design and structure. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was a masterpiece that set a new standard for gameplay, storytelling, and interaction in 3D worlds. Its innovations are still evident in modern games, and it remains one of the greatest titles of all time.